Hey everyone, it's Lady Night, and today I'm going to start the 7 days, 7 VRs challenge that was put out by Y from On the Cusp Tarot. All the information will be in the description box, and my first topic today will be the hashtag My First Tarot that was put out by Simon. And I'll just get right into that. And I have a few first tarots. Where I grew up, we didn't really, until the end of the Cold War, we couldn't buy any tarot decks where I lived. And even after that, it took quite a while for these things to really find their way to us in our neck of the woods. So I was really happy when the teen magazines that I was reading in that time were putting something like that out there. So one of the magazines I was reading was Bravo. That was very popular in Europe. I don't know if it still is. And so they put out a 22 Arcana deck that I don't have anymore, but I found this booklet. And what they did, they took a bunch of celebrities, like mostly singers and musicians, but also some actors. For example, we have Axl Rose as the Emperor, we have Janet Jackson as the Empress. Who else? The guy from Aerosmith, Steven Tyler, he is Death. Kevin Costner is the Hanged Man. Things like that. And Gwyneth Paltrow and Brad Pitt were the lovers, so that kind of gives me an idea of when this deck is from. And I think this was just put out shortly or around the time of the movie Seven, because based on the image that's on the cards from them. And it gave a little bit of context based on a book that was referenced here, and it has some spreads, like 2 card spreads, 3 cards giving example readings. And yeah, I never really put it together. And then it talks about the cards and the way that they are designed is, let's see if I can focus that. Oops. So you have the face of the person on there, and then on the bottom in the middle there is an itty bitty tiny image from the Arcus Arcanum deck, and they also kept the titles of all of these cards, and yeah, gave a light and shadow aspect for all of them, and that was pretty much it. And as you can see, yeah, that's very 90s. So I'm guessing this was around maybe 95-ish, or I don't know, when was the movie Seven with Brad Pitt released? Maybe it was around that time. I don't really know when that was. I don't remember. And then in another magazine that I was reading, they put out these cards, and that was the only thing that came with it. So it just said the Destiny Tarot, and it gave a little, the name of the card and a little bit of, sentence. And these 22 cards were taken from the Witch's Tarot, but not the one that's the modern one that's out there right now. It's the older one, and if I can find the name of the person who did it, I'll write that in the description box as well. And these cards were taken from all over the deck, and they also have new names. Let's see if I can focus that a bit more. So this Fool is called the Gambler, but I think it's one of the Cup cards. I'm not quite sure. And here we have clearly the Chariot, and let me get that focus. Okay, the Chariot, but it's called the Hero. This is, yeah, the Empress. I don't know if that's the Empress. Not the Empress, the High Priestess, because here's a man's hand, so I don't know what that card originally was. I'm thinking this might be the Two of Pentacles. Wait, where is it? Oh, focus? Hello, focus. There. Let's see. something about romance. The Lover's card, that was actually the one that they kept. And here I'm guessing it's the Six of Swords. Here we have Justice, labeled as Temperance. The Sun card, but that's Trust. I don't know what this one could be. Four of Wands, maybe? And this card, to me, is just no. I am a cat lady, but this kind of cat love, that's just too much for me. So I never use these cards, pretty much because of this card. And this could be the Ace of Pentacles, maybe? We have the Wheel labeled as Life, but at number 9. The Tower, number 14. So this is the Three of Wands, I guess. It's called Rival. The Five of Pentacles as number 16. We actually have the Star, labeled the Star. The Moon card as the Moon. The Sun is actually the Judgment. And here we have the Six of Cups, I guess. And the Actual World card. So, yeah, I never really read with these cards. I got them because I was interested, wanted to see what they were all about, but I never really used them. And now that I know that they're all over the place, I'm never going to do anything with these. Only keep them in my box. So, then, when I came back from America in the summer of '99, I went into the magazine shop that I would always go to once a week to get my weekly magazine. And there I found this magazine, and I'm a big Sailor Moon fan. So when I saw this Magical Tarot, I just couldn't resist. And it comes with 22 cards. It was a special edition, limited. And so, yeah. It came with this huge poster that gives you 2 spreads. Let's see if I can find. So this was one of the spreads, the Moonsicle. And the other spread was, yeah, the Celtic Cross. And that's actually how I learned to read it, and that's how I still do it, with the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then going up that way. I still do that, and that's where I got it from. And I don't have any intention of changing that. I know other people use different positions for 3, 5, 4, and 6, but that's okay. So, this gives a little bit of information about the tarot. She's narrating this, kind of. And then it goes into the cards, and it gives an image of the card, says what the card means, and it gives kind of like a mantra or something for each card. And then we get these spreads, and one more additional spread in the back. This is just called the Cross, for a very concrete answer to a direct question. And this one is, what is this all about? What is not going to happen? What will happen next? And the outcome. So yeah, that's what I learned with, and here are the cards. They come in this. Let's see if I can get you a little bit closer. So, and yeah, they open this way, and this was all part of the magazine, so you had to put that together yourself. So, nothing fancy. And here are the cards, and you can still see where I punched them out of the magazines. And so, here we have a title card, and then there's one that has all the names, and a keyword for each card. So now, I'm going to show you the cards. Okay. Wait, no. So here we have the Fool, And yeah, Chibiusa with Luna Pe. The Magician. I forgot what his character was called. That was when he had lost his memory and he wasn't Tuxedo Mask anymore, but he was this other character for a while until he got his memory back, but it's still the same guy as Tuxedo Mask. Here we have the High Priest, Luna, High Priestess, sorry, High Priestess. The Empress, the mother with the daughter. The Emperor, father and daughter. And here this card is called the High Priest. And in this, that was referencing the Arcus Arcanum, it was also called the High Priest. And that's when I got my very first 78 card deck. No, my second, when I got the classic Rider-Waite Smith deck, and all of a sudden he was the Hierophant. That was kind of confusing to me. So, and also because what I like about this, these two are like a team, and for me now the High Priestess and the Hierophant, if he looks like the Pope and she looks more like a woman emerged in like nature, that they don't really go together. So that's why I like this very much. The Lovers, this is actually this way. The Chariot. Here number 8 is Justice. Number 9, the Hermit, and this is very fitting because all of the outer scouts, they were like in solitary confinement pretty much. They each had to stay on their own planet and they couldn't really get together. So the Wheel, here we have Strength, the Hangman, Death, and that's about this guy down here. And here we have Temperance labeled as Art, the Devil, Mistress 9, the Tower, that's when the helicopter exploded and Pluto had to step in and she stopped time. Here we have Queen Serenity as the Star for hope. We have the Moon, the Sun, and the Judgment. Yeah, facing off against the enemies. Yeah, here they are. And the Universe as the World card. So yeah, this was my first real tarot deck that I studied with, and it may look all childish and cutesy and everything, but this deck gave me some really good readings, and it also predicted 2 deaths. One was a suicide, where it only said the person would make a final decision. I had no idea that the final decision would be that. It's not the person that I read for, it was kind of like a triangle work thing. Not love, it was about bullying. And the referee was the one who ended it. And my grandma wanted me to read the cards for her. And I did that with these, because I didn't have any other cards at the time. And she was asking about her health. And the final card on the Celtic cross was this one. And she's like, oh, so I'm gonna die. And the cards did say that she would have to change her ways, or yes, her health would not be so forgiving, and she did die. I'm just really upset that I didn't take notes from that reading. Like, I don't really know what the other cards were. I can't piece that together anymore, and it's the only reading that I ever did from a grandma. But yeah, that's another reason why this deck will never leave my collection or my estate or whatever. You know, this is, yeah, the one time I read for my grandma, I did that with these cards, no matter what the topic was about, but that's the only time that I got to read for her. So yeah, a bit of a sentimental thing. And I did buy a second backup deck on eBay many years ago, because this was just a limited edition, and you could only get it with the magazine, and that was it. Once the magazines were gone, like a month later, there were no more. And so I got a backup version, either in case anything should happen to this, which I hope it won't, or maybe for a possible future generation who may or may not be interested in reading cards. But yeah, who knows. But I have another one of these. And then my first deck with 78 cards was the Hexen Tarot, the Tarot of the Witches, which is also known as the James Bond Tarot. And when I got it in that bookstore, that was around 2000, 2001, around that time. No, wait. It must have been before 2001, because it's still in Deutschmarks, and that was before we got the euro. And we got the euro in 2001, so it must have been in 2000 that I bought this. So it was wrapped in cellophane, and there was, there may have been a classic Rider-Waite-Smith and one other deck in that bookstore, and so they were the only 3 decks I could choose from. And it had the word witches, she had the moon, she has a cat, and that's all I needed to know, so that's why I chose that one. And I didn't know it was going to be a pip deck. And yeah, but I had some really good readings with this. I like that the Hierophant, oh yeah, he's called the Hierophant, that he is not looking like the Pope, that he's very, you know, nature-oriented. He has a cat here, he's got the bird's nest, the bird sitting on top of the world, and just like her, you know, cat, the moon, star on her face, he's got the star on his face. So that felt very good. And I always liked these cards. I like that his food is getting cold. He's so busy studying that he's forgetting to eat. Yeah. And what I like about this wheel is that it has like all these different scenarios on it. We've got like the sun, the rainbow, we've got the clouds with the thunderstorm, we have the heartbreak, we've the star for hope, and you know, so and there's a handle where you can actually turn this thing, so yeah, it goes around. So yeah, and here strength and justice are the other way around. The hangman, the death, temperance, the devil, and here he is without the people, it's just the devil himself. The tower. Yeah, this card came up in a reading about marriage, and yeah, that to me the tower has always this notion of divorce, because that was the first time that I got this card in a reading, and I will never forget. Yeah, that was divorce. The sun. I like that there's no naked baby on a horse. And yeah, we have the judgment. The people are not out yet, but they will be pretty soon. And the world, but she's crying. Very sad. So, and then yeah, the pips. And then the court cards and the wands. I always like the pentacles because I like the green color. and I like the star as a symbol. And here we have the cups. So yeah, that was my first 78 card deck. And my first Major Arcana only deck. So yeah, that's how I started my journey. Before that, I was reading playing cards. That was in 95 and 96. Because we didn't have access to tarot cards, we couldn't buy them. There was no Amazon at the time. Otherwise that may have been a completely different story. But I'm happy that we have Amazon now and that we can shop for all these decks that we like. So yeah. Well, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow in part 2 of the 7 days, 7 VRs challenge. So bye for now.